welcome back to Bayou Time. I'm Jason Dagate. We're taking phone calls now on the failed veto override of the cigarette tax that failed to pass, so that will not proceed forward. Also, if you would like to talk about Congressman Anthony Weiner resigning and whether or not you think he should have had to resign or not, we had Mayor Tommy Estee join us from the city of Thibodaux because there was another employee that was arrested today for that civil service employee arrested today in the scandal, if you will, or the bribery scandal, if you will, for doctoring up some timesheets for allegedly taking some money for it. There was a second person involved in that. And or any other calls you would like to discuss. Before I pick up the next phone call, I do want to make another announcement again. And if we can pull up that graphic, Jason, it's Sidney Scott Simmons benefit run and bike blessing. And that will be June the 25th. And it's a benefit run and bike blessing. Again, we should have a graphic that's going to come up. The registration will be at the Little Caillou Fire Department. It's $20 per bike, $10 per rider. There's going to be an auction, door prizes, half and half, food, music by Signal 19 and performance in Suzuki. And it's being put on by the Brothers in Blue, the Dirty South chapter. Right here. It's made up of local law enforcement officers that are in the bike chapter, Brothers in Blue. And they're trying to raise money for the Sidney Simmons family. And for pre-registration or for donations, you can call Dallas at 985-665-7660. The first bike out will be and the bike blessing will be at 9:30. Last bike out is at 10:30, and last bike in is at 3 p.m., and the auction is at 4 p.m. So for more information, you can call Dallas at 665-7660. All right, with that, let's go down to our next caller. Thank you for holding patiently. Welcome to Bayou Time.
Hello, Jason.
Hello.
How you doing tonight, partner?
I'm doing all right. Thank you very much. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Okay.
About that tax, cigarette tax?
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea to let it sunset.
Okay. Well, and that's what it had. It had a sunset provision in it. Okay.
Because they ought to do, they got a bad habit in Baton Rouge. They'll put a tax on you, and then 10 years when it's over with, they pass these middle-of-the-year elections when it's supposed to sunset and pass the tax again for another 10 years. It ought to be automatic that when it's set to sunset, you can't repass it right away. You have to repass it during a main vote. Now, one thing I don't like about what they did in Baton Rouge is this. You can have these middle-of-the-year elections where, that's all that's on the ballot. And hardly nobody participates except the ones who wants to pass the tax. Like fireman's tax or something like that.
Well, I think this is different, though.
I know this is different because it was in the books already.
Yeah, this was something that was done, I believe, by the legislature, not by a vote of the people. Right.
But the vote of the people tax, too. What they passed in the middle of the year. One thing I don't like, I like D. Reshaw, what he's been doing, but he voted against that.
Yeah, well, that's why, at some point in time recently there was a tax here locally. Terrebonne Parish has already taxed themselves for the Morganza project, but there was another tax to try to get some more funding for levies, if you will. And it failed by just a few votes, and a lot of people who voted against it were saying that it's because they had no sunset provision, kind of like what you're saying.
Well, the sunset provision is good.
Yeah.
Because after 10 years, the tax is supposed to go off. But we got a bad habit in Louisiana, these politicians, of not letting it go off. They re-vote on it right away and let it add on another 10 years. These middle-of-the-year elections are no good for anything. They ought to, if you got to vote on a millage tax or something, it ought to be on the board or on the polls when your main elections are there.
Okay, so you'd like to see it during a major election cycle so people
Right.
are aware of it. Okay.
Where people going to participate in it.
Well, we would hope everybody would participate in every election, but let's be honest.
You know you're not going to get that, Jason.
You're right. But it's a lot easier now to do so than it was years past, because now really you have not only just the election day to vote, you have like a week, sometimes 2 weeks to go early vote at the courthouse, where you just need to go drive over there and vote. Now, I understand some people don't have the transportation, so that's a problem. But it used to be where you had to have an excuse to absentee vote, but now they just call it early voting. So really, there's a lot of time to vote. But I understand what you're saying.
What I'm saying is this: a lot of people don't know about it.
Yeah.
They know about that main election, like police, jury,
sheriff. Yeah.
But these little organizations are past these middle of the year taxes.
All right.
And they don't tell the public about it. Just the people they want to go to the polls know about it.
Right.
They're guilty of that in Fuchs Parish, too.
All right. Thank you for the call. We appreciate it.
Let's do it straight up. As far as that old man, the man said that they ought to tax smokers as much as they can because they decide to smoke. What are they doing with all that money, that tobacco money, giving it to the education department? Is that supposed to be for smokers, huh? They're not paying, taxpayers are not paying anything for smokers.
All right. Look, thank you for the call. I appreciate it as always. Let me get down to the next caller. Hello, welcome to Bayou Time.
Hi, Jason. I have a joke everybody can enjoy.
Okay.
All right. What do you call a handful of minority interest groups who didn't pay any taxes last year?
I don't know what.
General Electric, ExxonMobil, and Bank of America. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. So if you'd like to comment on that joke, okay. General Electric, ExxonMobil, and I forgot the last one. Maybe my producer heard that. If you'd like to call in, 879-1231, number of things we can talk about again. With the tax renewal failing, if you will, on the cigarette tax. I know we had a lot of callers on that, but now it's been overridden by the House. And the House was really saying that, look, we were going to take it, the legislature was saying, we're going to take this far and we're going to override the governor. I guess this sort of shows you the power of the governor, because it was reported that he was calling up his party, if you will, saying, don't go against me on this one. And they didn't. It didn't pass the House. So it still remains. The governor has not been, his veto has not been overridden in over 18 years now. So unless he vetoes another bill this going cycle, and don't know if they'll have the opportunity to do so. Let's go to the next caller. Hello, welcome to Bayou Time.
Hello, Jason.
Hi.
You know, it really galls me to no end. There was a 4 cents a gallon tax for gasoline back in the Roman administration. That's when you was a children.
Yeah.
Maybe you was a children then.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what? It has never been rescinded, but the last I heard, it's now in the general fund.
Okay.
You believe that?
Well, what I do know is, and interestingly, Jason Serenier, the producer, and I were talking about this very issue before the show started. That 4 cents tax was used to help fund that extension from Terrebonne to St. Mary, if you will, on US 90, the future 90 corridor. I believe some of that money.
That was years
well,
ago.
it is, but at least you saw, I mean, that's a great benefit to our community. But since then, I don't know where it's gone.
No. The last I heard, it's in the general fund. The other thing about it all is, you talk about this 4 cents a gallon. 4 cents a pack of cigarettes. I was a smoker for 55 years, Jason. I saw the light. I quit, okay? I don't have any qualms about anybody that smoked. That's their problem. But what I'm saying is that when we sit down here right now, we talk about 4 cents a gallon on gasoline, but if you and everybody else, where's the money going? Mm-hmm. Where's the money going?
That's a good question. I mean, I'm sure it's documented somewhere, but I don't know.
Not once, but a bunch of times. And I was told it went to the general fund now. The last time, the thing about it all is that if something's dedicated to a certain program, put it there.
Yeah.
Am I right or wrong?
No, you're right. I agree with you.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's something that somebody needs to turn the light on. We don't want a 20 light bulb. We want a 100-watt light bulb to find out what the hell's going on.
Thank you, Mr. Rome. I appreciate it. All right. If you would agree or disagree with Mr. Rome, you can give us a call, 879-1231. We have another caller on the line. Let's take that phone call. Hello, welcome to Bayou Time.
Hello.
Hi.
How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm fine today. I'm calling about in regards to the synthetic marijuana.
Okay.
Okay.
Which is now illegal. Well, as soon as it's signed, it will be.
Okay, it's not at this point illegal.
Until it's signed by the governor. And I don't know. I can ask Jason Sernier to check. Has the governor signed it yet? I haven't seen where it's been signed just yet, but it will be illegal in the very near future.
Okay, the reason why I'm making this call is because before we found out about all the chemicals and everything else, you know, the girlfriend of my son is smoking the synthetic marijuana. It was found in the console, and my son is now charged with possession of marijuana on this synthetic marijuana stuff.
Well, there are certain chemicals that were listed as illegal. And then they were tweaked chemically, and there were different types of marijuana that wasn't. In other words, there was a K2 and a Mojo or something that was illegal, and is now. But what they did was they tweaked that, and then they made some other stuff. And every time they make something illegal, the mass producers, if you will, they package it differently, they change the chemical. Now they've changed the law to kind of encompass everything to try to cut off the changing of that.
Right.
Okay?
Right. Okay, well, he don't smoke it, and she's not smoking it anymore since he's heard about all the chemicals and everything else, so neither one does it.
Well, and let me clear something up.
If he has the charge before this bill is signed, then he should not have to be prosecuted for possession of marijuana knowing that he had the synthetic marijuana.
Well, it's going to be tested scientifically, I can assure you, before he's convicted of any charge, and they'll be able to see what the chemical makeup of that substance was, whether it was marijuana, whether it was the synthetic marijuana that was already listed as illegal, or whether it was the synthetic marijuana that is about to be listed as illegal. Of course, if it's the substance that was not yet illegal, well, then I guess he can't be found guilty of that.
Well, I've been to court, and I was told that there is no lab in the state of Louisiana that can test
well, that's
marijuana, a leafy substance, which is a leafy substance.
Well, I'd have to 100% disagree with you on that, because the state police test substances that are marijuana on a daily basis.
Well, I don't know too much about this, you know. I really don't, but that's what I was being told.
I think somebody misinformed you.
Okay.
Okay. And let me clear something else up. A lot of people think that these new synthetic marijuanas are not susceptible to drug tests. They are drug tests now, as recently as 2 months ago, that now pick up this substance. It's a special test, but there are different labs that do use it and can test it. I can assure you that if you're in a drug court program, they can test for that substance now, and people have been getting caught through around the state in different offices for people who are on probation and things of that nature from around the state are getting caught with using the synthetic substances.
Right.
Okay, so there are drug courts. There are drug tests now that pick them up. What's that?
On the last caller that called and wanting to know where this money's going, I believe that Obama is sending all this money because Iraq is being rebuilt, and everywhere our troops been, we rebuilding them, and the money should be staying in our own country. It should not be going overseas. We're trying to rebuild our money here. We're not trying to rebuild Iraq or anybody else.
Right. I understand what you're saying there now, but what the other caller was talking about was some state dollars. I think what you're talking about is federal dollars. It's a little different, but I guess the same concept's the same. you'd rather see the federal dollar stay here in the United States as opposed to going somewhere overseas.
You're right.
Okay.
You're right. That's my whole point. Keep the money in our country. This is our country. Our country's the one going down.
Okay.
Not Iraq and Iran or wherever, Afghanistan. Our country is at stake at this point.
Well, and let me ask you this.
Federal, state, parish monies need to stay in our country.
Now, but if this money is going to help protect us from terrorists in the future, are you okay with the money doing helping protect us overseas?
Right. You see, I go and I use MoneyGram. And I go to Walmart and I go, to different places and use MoneyGram. I see on Fridays, on Thursdays, you see all kind of Mexicans in line sending all this money to Mexico, overseas, wherever they sending it, I really don't know. But they sending our money from our country all the way over there.
All right. Thank you for the call.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's go down to the next caller. Hello, welcome to Bayou Time. Thank you for holding.
Yeah, is this Joe and Jason?
Hi.
Joe and Jason, I'm in the state of Tennessee. I just happened to
Tennessee.
call down there to see what you was talking about.
Are you watching us online, or are you just calling?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep track of you.
Okay, all right.
But some of the money, we got to realize that we need education. Our people need education in Louisiana, and they're cutting education. And the man just called, whoever it was just talking, was saying about the money going here. Up in Tennessee, $2 billion in 7 years from the lottery has gone to education. That's $2 billion.
$2 billion?
$2 billion has gone to education.
All right.
In Louisiana, $2 billion are missing somewhere down there. It just got dispersed somewhere. Nobody knows about it. And that's why I was wondering why, the states' rights people are these representatives that we have in Louisiana, what's the reason that they don't know where that money is going, and it was campaigning on that money. We in Louisiana, it's sad to say. It's just that, people really think it's Obama's fault, but the corporation, everybody's making all kind of money. And these people here that the working class and the poor people are fighting among themselves, thinking Obama's a problem. Those corporations are stopping the subsidies. They're supporting subsidies for the big corporation, not only the oil companies, but for agriculture, all kind of subsidies. But they want to balance the budget on the back of the poor man in the working class. And what they do is give them something to fight about. They say, well, this little man on welfare or those Mexicans in line, which work hard and earn that money, wherever they send it to. They got a right to send it anywhere in the world they want to, because they work. And all companies, I work for them out there. They hire Malaysians, thousands of them, come from work 6 months at a time. Filipinos coming, thousands of them. The oil companies out there are hiring, and they're not hiring people of Louisiana. We got to quit talking about this patriotic stuff, because these big corporations are not very patriotic.
Well, I agree with one thing you said, at least, and that was that it's not necessarily the worker's fault, whether he be illegal, legal or not, or whatever as ethnicity he is. And you're right, he does have the right to send it wherever he wants to go. It's who chooses to hire that person, and whether our government takes a position that we're going to just allow people to come in and work illegally and take jobs away from people in our area.
Well, I was just talking to a big business person up here, a State Farm person today, matter of fact, and they're still talking about Al Gore. Look like these people on the Republican got a talking points. They're all from Tennessee to Louisiana. They got the same talking points, like moratorium and this and that, and they don't really know the truth. But somewhere they go online and get those talking points.
Well, look, every party has its talking points. Let's be honest. The Democrats have their talking points as well. So, and the Tea Party has its talking points as well. So, it's not something that's just unique to the Republican Party. If you're trying to make that argument, I'm gonna disagree with.
Well, they got a talk show up here. They're saying both races fighting each other. The blacks calling in talking about the whites, and the whites calling about the blacks. I never seen a talk show like the ones up here in Nashville. And I mean, they talk derogatory. They just don't say white. They use bad derogatory terms.
Well, you see, and they say we racist down here. So you're showing that they have people up there that are having a difficult time living amongst each other.
Ooh-wee, man, I'm telling you, I never seen nothing quite like this hate going on here now. But it's, a lot of us doing it. We're being exploited, by the large corporations. I wish the small working class and the middle class understand if we ever get together and forget about this race and stuff like that and get together, then we can really get some change. But as of right now, with this hate and back and forth and worry about abortion and the Confederate flag and all those things that are wedge issues that they give us to eat, while Wall Street is going through the roof. Going through the roof, making all kind of money up there. All kind of big CEOs are making all kind of millions of dollars a year just doing nothing. And we're down here just worried about little small things, and we're being deceived. We're being used. And just like now, $2 billion in the state of Tennessee going to education.
That was $2 billion in the state of Tennessee?
Yeah, for 7 years.
Okay.
That's what the Lotto have given to education in 7 years.
All right. So when you said the $2 billion earlier, you weren't talking about Louisiana. You were talking about Tennessee.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you for the call. We appreciate it. Thank you for joining us all the way out there in Tennessee. Okay.
Love you. Bye.
All right. And we'll take a short break. And if you would like to join us whenever you're out the area, you can always go to our website, and that is htv10.tv for continuing updating news from around the area. You can watch us live if you want, as Jason Serenier is showing you how to click on live right there on the live button, and it'll pull up the program for you live, and it'll stream it wherever you are across the world, or you can go back and you can look at archive videos as well. We'll take a short break. When we come back, 879-1231.